Yo, what's going on, guys? We are back for another Chainsaw Man chapter, and oh my gosh, man, we're finally getting to find out, I guess, what side Nayuta's actually on, and we get some, I guess, drama between her and Denji, but right away we can start off with chapter 149, titled "A Devil's Choice" or "Devil's Choice," and I like that just because, it's gonna be not what's Nayuta's choice gonna be, basically. And we start with like an establishing shot of like Tokyo, and then this one dude who's like preaching, basically. He's like, I foretold all of this. Like, I warned all of mankind that devils will cause this war or cause a war or something. Because, I mean, we already know that Nostradamus's prophecy has existed like for a long time, and that people knew that, like, I guess an age of devils is gonna come, or like an age where there's gonna be like a catastrophe or something like that. But right now this is like a literal like apocalyptic situation, and Fumiko later talks about it. But like, this is actually serious because like earlier I was thinking, oh, this is like some small scale stuff, but like this is actually serious shit that like the entire world is gonna have to deal with. And like, I mean, this is like an actual like turning point in the story, I guess, where they can't really live a normal life right now. Denji and Nayuta, there's like no real way to live a normal life because of this, like, I guess, war that's happening. Because obviously people are turning into chainsaw men, they're changing into like these mindless, like, just devils. So, and then the guy who was talking before, he like explains that this is probably some divine retribution, bro. Like, we ignored the prophecy and this is what we get. So he's like calling all these people that are around him, like, please join me, we're gonna like obey the voice of our god, and we'll like burn the chainsaw men to ashes. And I love how, like, of course, it's sort of the fire devil who started this whole thing, but they're like burning these people, I guess. So like, it's just like the dichotomy, or like, the themes that are still there of like the fire and the flames, but they keep chanting, or like they start chanting like, burn chainsaw man, burn chainsaw man. And we basically cut away. And like, of course, that's really interesting because like it's the fire devil that changed all these people, of course, like I said. So like, is fire the only way to kill the fire devil's like hosts or something like that? Like, I'm not too sure, but I like how they're talking about like, let's burn the chainsaw man, because of course it's the fire devil that started all this stuff. But in reality, this is all just like opening up doors for like them to, I guess, attack Denji, because of course he's the chainsaw man. If he turns, they're gonna burn him too. So we cut to Fumiko and Denji, and she's like, oh gosh, this is like a whole like outbreak. That's like an apocalypse movie or something like that. And like, is all of like Japan society gonna crumble? And it's gonna end up being something like Fire Punch. Maybe Chainsaw Man's a prelude or a prequel to Fire Punch, who knows? But either way, Denji, he brings up like, if this is an emergency, I can like go into the Chainsaw Man form and fight. But Fumiko, she's like, no, hold up, they will probably try to burn you. So it's probably a really bad idea. Like, obviously they're gonna try to hurt you and kill you. So like, this is probably the worst time to turn into Chainsaw Man. So probably just wait. And of course she's like, don't worry, I'll protect you two. And Fumiko, she's like 26 or 23, something like that. So, and she's in public safety. So she has, I guess, some like, I guess, either devil contracts, or she can fight, which we can see a little bit later in this chapter, her, I guess, reaction time or whatever. But Nayuta, she chimes up, of course, because she doesn't need anybody's protection. Like, even Denji's protection, she really doesn't need, because she says, I'm stronger than you. Like, I'll kill anything that gets away, like in our way, or like attacks us. And I love that because, of course, a few chapter reviews ago, I was talking about like, shouldn't Nayuta just like not really care about this stuff, because she could probably just kill anybody that tries to attack them anyway. And like, of course, she's bringing it up now, like, I can protect all of us, it really doesn't matter, I can kill anything. And she's like, well, Fumiko says like, and if humans attack us, will you be able to kill them too? And I love this like reaction from Nayuta. She's like, a fucking course, bro, like, no duh, humans are literally the weakest out of the weak. Or like, she says like, they're weak sauce compared to devils. So like, of course Nayuta is a devil. Like, inherently she like knows about just devils and stuff, and like she explains it later of like her like inherent feelings and stuff like that. But obviously Fumiko's like, what have you been teaching her, Denji? Like, she thinks that humans are weaker compared to devils and that she can kill them whenever they want. And Denji's like, I mean, whatever's on the educational television or whatever. And Denji's like, oh shit, hold up. Speaking of the apartment, or like the TV, the apartment, like, we need to go back. And Nayuta this time, she does something interesting where like she like looks off and she's like, the dogs are hungry or all the pets are hungry. And that's really interesting because maybe she's just controlling all the pets, or like, they're her, I guess, like subordinates in a way, so like she can understand their feelings or read their minds, because we saw with Makima, she could like communicate with Princey the spider devil like telepathically, and then she could say like, come here, like from like, or come to hell from the regular world, which Maki was just built different, but obviously same power. She can probably like has like a telepathic link with the people that she controls or something like that. But Denji's like, we should probably go home because we got to feed these pets, and like obviously all this shit's happening. We don't want them to get like hurt or whatever. But Fumiko, she's like, come on, like we can't really do that right now. Like all those Chainsaw Man church people, they're definitely gonna be watching your house because they know where you live, they know who you are, of course, Denji, and they were trying to get you, and they know you're Chainsaw Man. Or at least like the top tier people know that Denji's Chainsaw Man, so like of course they'd be sending people to watch out for Denji's house and stuff. So, but we see Denji, he's like, okay, it doesn't really matter because the pets need to get fed, and I love that because Denji values these pets very highly because, they're his pet, they're part of his family. So he needs to go feed them. And Nayuta's like, okay, let's go. And Fumiko, she like steps in front of them and she's like, I can't let you guys go home. And this is another interesting point where is public safety telling her to, not let Denji and Nayuta go back to their house because maybe public safety is doing something there? Or is it like, she's trying to protect them for their like I guess betterment or something like that. So maybe Fumiko's a good person, or maybe she's just following orders, but she's like, public safety can like safely house you, so it's fine. And we get this little standoff between all three of them, and Nayuta fires her chains at Fumiko, and right here we sort of get a glimpse at Fumiko's combat ability because she dodges this. We saw Yoru not be able to dodge these chains because like she like looked over and saw Nayuta obviously, and she was taken like back by like surprise or whatever, but still like so was Fumiko and she can dodge this. So that's interesting how Yoru couldn't dodge the chains, because you're able to dodge the chains like seemingly, so why didn't Yoru do that? And I'm just gonna guess because one, she wasn't as strong as she could have been, and two, because she's just not as fast as I guess Fumiko is, because it's Yoshida said that they're like partners or friends in some way, her and Fumiko, or him and Fumiko. So maybe she's somewhere on his level. Like, I'm not sure, because it seems like she's strong enough to at least, subdue Denji, because I mean, Yoshida literally sent her to subdue Denji, or at least like keep him under check. So we know that she can hold her own probably. So we need to see that she actually is able to dodge these chains. But in reality, I guess Nayuta wasn't really aiming at her, or there was somebody behind her just by chance, because she hits this old lady with her chains, controls the old lady to like choke out Fumiko. And at this point, Denji's sort of like panicking because like he doesn't want this fight to happen. And obviously Fumiko is like a human and he doesn't want her to die right now. I mean, it seems like they sort of have like at least a little bit of a good standing relationship where they're not friends, but Denji obviously doesn't want her to die in cold blood because he does sort of care about her. And I don't think it's in the romantic way at all. But I think that like, he just doesn't want to see an innocent person sort of die. So he starts tickling Nayuta. And I love how that's how like he gets her powers to disengage or whatever. Like he just says, take this, tickle attack. He starts tickling her really hard and Nayuta starts dying laughing. But Fumiko gets let go from this, so like her powers get deactivated or whatever, and Denji tells her to run. And obviously, like Denji, he's not trying to get her killed, like I said before. He says we can manage on our own, like leave or she's actually gonna kill you. Like, and I love that because we don't think Nayuta would do something like that, or Denji doesn't think she would do something like that, but she's clearly like, I guess, ready to do like murder, or she's ready to commit a murder. She's down to catch a body. That's just Nayuta. She don't really care, of course, because she's a devil. But Fumiko looks over and she just dips. She's like, okay, I'm out of here then. Bet. And Denji lets her go. And like, of course, Nayuta doesn't really care because all she was an obstacle. She has like no vendetta against Fumiko, but she's like, okay, bet. Let's go home. I don't really care. And Denji's like, seriously, were you about to kill that person? Like, were you about to kill her? Like, actually. And Nayuta's like, I mean, it's fine for devils to kill humans. Like, that's just like one of the things we do. Like, fish swim, trees photosynthesize, like devils kill people. It's the same thing. And I love how it's like just an interesting idea where even if Denji's gonna like raise her, like I guess in the right way or the best way that he can, she still innately knows like what devils do and like I guess how devils are, because she's like, I don't give a fuck. I want to kill people. I kill people. And she literally says like, you must feel it instinctually, like the urge to kill people. It makes you feel like alive. It makes you feel better, doesn't it? And I'm guessing she's asking this because Denji is part devil, of course. So he would feel that urge, but it doesn't seem at all that Denji, he doesn't really care about like killing or murdering people. He doesn't really like have fun doing it. I mean, one, because turning into the Chainsaw Man hurts him, first of all, so I feel like that might dampen him having any fun. And two, because he is mostly human, like in his core. So we'll see, I guess, if Denji ever, like, I guess, starts turning more into a devil where he wants to kill people in cold blood. But Denji sort of just like stares at her blankly, like, what are you talking about? But Nayuta says like, Denji, do you want to join like the devil side with me? Because we can go and like team up with Fami and all of them and we can be strong. And Denji's like, are you serious? Also, if you guys like the Chainsaw Man content, want new chapter reviews each week, just please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Back to the video. Like, that's not even on the table, basically. But Nayuta, she continues to explain, like, I gave it a lot of thought, like, human society, it's all fun and, we get to do all this cool stuff, but it's like suffocating. We can't be free. We can't do what we want. And of course, Nayuta's like, if we ruled over the devils, because, we would be like a part of the strongest tier of devils. Like we could like do whatever we want. We could eat all the food we want and just have fun to like our heart's content. We don't got to worry about, public safety or the Chainsaw Man Church and all this stuff. Like we could even have like as many cats as we want, as many breeds, as many types of dogs as we want. And like, of course, this is, I feel like this is just mostly like Nayuta's like childlike brain, or she's like sort of testing Denji. But we get to see Denji's like, what about like and then he says, what about your friends at school? Because I think Denji realized he doesn't really like have that many friends. Besides, I guess he sort of like thinks Asa's sort of his friend. Yoshida, which is like, a love-hate relationship, I feel like. And I guess Fumiko. And I mean, beyond that, most of his friends are dead. So, he's like, he's like, I don't know. What about all of your friends in school and all that stuff? And she's like, who cares if they die? Like, I don't care about these people. Like, you don't care about them, like, and all you need is me, or all like we need is each other right now. So we don't need friends, right, Denji? And they both like look at each other for a little bit, and we get these like weird facial expressions from Denji and Nayuta where they're just sitting there looking at each other, staring at each other. And she's like, you just remembered Asami Taka, didn't you? And of course Nayuta remembers that girl that kissed like Denji, was trying to steal his or her property. So she's like, you just remembered her, didn't you? And I think, again, this goes back to the thing where like she has this sort of like telepathy or telepathy with like the people that she controls in some way, where I think she has controlled Denji or used her powers on Denji at least once or twice, because, I mean, what's stopping her in reality? But, I mean, either way, Denji usually gives her whatever she wants. So I feel like she probably doesn't have a use or need to do it, but either way, it seems like she sort of read his mind in this situation. Or it was just like the blank pause in their conversation was Denji thinking about this girl. But Nayuta's like, why is she important to you? Like, you even risked your life to protect her. Like, why is she that important to you? Like, I do not get it, because all you're supposed to need is me. And then Denji's like, oh, because we kissed, man. And he obviously feels a little bit of romantic relationship with her. And Nayuta's like, that's it? Like, that's the only reason you, like, I guess, care about her or something like that? And Denji's like, I've kissed people a bunch of times, but we know he kissed Himeno, and I mean, it was a barf kiss, but either way, he said, like, I've done it a bunch of times, I guess. He might be, bolstering himself, because we know Denji, but he says it always ends up, like, hurting me, or it goes, like, terribly wrong. So he's like, this one time, it wasn't, like, I didn't get hurt. I didn't feel bad after it. So he's like, I sort of have these feelings for her. And obviously, I guess we've all been sort of hoping for like, a ship between them secretly, because I mean, they had that little date before and Asa sort of started like warming up to Denji a little bit. But either way, Nayuta's like, do you like her? Like, do you like her? And Denji's like, and he said like this much. And then Nayuta's like, what about me? and he's like, this much, and he makes a huge hand. And obviously just some wholesome stuff, because Denji and Nayuta are more family than, like, I guess friends or like anything like that, because I would say Denji probably cares for Nayuta like almost more than anybody at this point. Like, if it was a difference between like Fumiko literally dying or Nayuta dying, he probably would have to pick Nayuta, but he would try to save both. I feel like Denji would try to be a hero or something, but we get this smile from Nayuta, and Fujimoto's been doing a lot of these like weird, like, closed mouth smiles. He did it with Yuko, he done it with Asa, and now Nayuta gets this weird little smile, but she jumps onto Denji, gives him a big hug, and she's like, okay, fine. I won't kill the humans. Now let's hurry home. And she's like, mush, or something like how you would do to sled dogs. And end of chapter, we have a break next week, which is a big L. I'm pretty sure we got, what, 2 chapters in between breaks this time. So I hope we get like 3 chapters this next time. But, we've usually had the 2 chapters break for schedule for a while. So we'll see what happens in 2 weeks, because it seems like this little in-between area between like arcs is gonna be done after this, or maybe we're gonna go back to Denji's apartment, see some shit happening there, and we're gonna be in trouble, or have the new arc start there, because I'm pretty sure I think we can all like assume that arc from before with the Chainsaw Man Church and like all the weapons humans showing up, that's sort of done right now, and it feels like we're in an intermediary arc or something like that, where like, we're sort of waiting for the next thing to happen. I guess it's sort of like filler, but not really at all, because we're pushing the story ahead a lot. And I think this chapter was really good for still being like, in between arcs. So we will definitely see what happens next, because god damn, this, like, I mean, part 2 is really ramping up in the pace, and I guess the themes are actually starting to coalesce, and the arcs are actually starting to like, make sense like together, because, before we didn't know what was happening. All these like, separate, I guess, attacks, and like all these devil encounters were like separate instances or separate cases. But now we know that they're all sort of like combined into like, I guess, the Chainsaw Man Church doing them, or I guess Fami and, whoever's up top with her and Bareem and the fake Chainsaw Man, who we have yet to see. And I think that it is probably, I mean, just the Chainsaw Man devil, but we'll see obviously in the future, because that motherfucker showed up, killed Yuko, yeah, I think Yuko, and just dipped, bro. Like, we didn't see anything else past that. I thought we saw him when she, like, Fami was talking to the class pres, but I'm pretty sure that was Bareem. And now we have not seen that motherfucker, I don't know since when. So I think we either like cut to Fami next chapter, or cut to Yoru and Asa and see what the fuck they're doing, because they don't really have an apartment anymore. They got rid of Yoshida. There's just lots of stuff happening right now, where I love the 2 protagonist idea, where we're switching back and forth, because like we can see what's happening with like Asa and Yoru, and that's a whole, like, that can be a whole chapter to themselves, or like Asa and public safety, or like Denji and Nayuta, and then Denji and public safety too, because like, I mean, in the like Chainsaw Man Church, because they both are connected with all of these, like, I guess, groups. So I feel like we're gonna see these 2 stories, I guess, coalesce, where Denji and Asa are gonna be together more often. And like I said in the last chapter review, maybe we get like a Chainsaw Man team of a group of like, Asa, Nayuta, all the weapons humans if we're able to, or the ones that are like allied with public safety. So Katana Man and Quan Chi, if Katana Man even wants to like team up with Chainsaw Man, because we know he don't like Denji at all. And then I hope like Kishibe and stuff like that, because if public safety does not like make like a special unit or like a task force for like, I guess, solving this huge problem, as like this just insane like devil outbreak, I guess, or like it's like a zombie like apocalypse type thing, but all these people are turning into chainsaw men instead. But I think obviously it'll end, like, it's not like a contagious thing, it's just only people that are contracted with, like, I guess the Chainsaw Man Church, or I guess the Fire Devil in general. So we will see. There is lots of possibilities to happen after this chapter, because Fujimoto, he didn't give us, a cliffhanger. He gave us a super open-ended end to this chapter, which is, again, usually a W, because he does this a lot. But I think next chapter, we probably cut away from Denji and Nayuta. It'd be nice to see like more of just home life with them, but I don't think we will, because last chapter we had Yoru saying like her final thing, like she was about to go do some shit. And now we have Nayuta saying, okay, let's go and do some shit. So maybe we're gonna cut away and get like, I guess, a better outline of the next arc and a layout or something, and see what's gonna happen or who are the main players gonna be. So we will definitely see. Please let me know if you have any theories about what's gonna happen next in the manga, because god damn, like, this shit's just getting better and better in my opinion. But thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Again, I'd appreciate that too. But thank you guys, and peace.